I genuinely can't believe that we've actually made it to 100 episodes. I started this podcast on a bit of a whim with no real idea of where it would take me, and somehow we are here. We've reached 100. This episode is a little bit different, so do stick with me right to the very end because I've got a few things coming up that I really want to share with you. There is more to explore, more conversations, a few little surprises along the way, and I'm also really excited to share that we've got the Lost and Found workshop programme, which is currently being developed as we speak. All the links and details are in the show notes, so you don't need to remember any of this right now. Just enjoy listening to Sarah and I reminisce about the 100 conversations that have changed my life. And to every guest who shared their time, their stories, to the wilderness community for listening and coming back and being part of this, thank you so much. The next season starts in just a few weeks' time, so make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And that's it. Right, let's get to the episode.
So, Lucy,
Hello.
welcome to your own podcast.
It's nice, isn't it? Very plush.
Welcome to the wilderness of creativity.
Yes, and where are we?
We are in Lyrebird Studios.
Yes, which you own.
Which are
This is your podcast studios.
my baby.
Yes. It's a very exciting moment, isn't it?
It is a very exciting moment. So, the reason we are here, and I am being the hostess of the mostess, I hope, is it's a celebration today, isn't it?
It certainly is.
So, big congratulations, round of applause to 100 episodes of the Wilderness of Creativity.
Let's see if there's a clap. There's a clap somewhere in there.
Right, okay, so Lucy's pointing at the Rodecaster, which is what we're using to record this episode, and the Rodecaster comes with some cool sound effects. We don't know
There is a round of applause. I think it's the green
which
one.
sound effects. All we've got is colourful buttons. So you reckon it's the green one?
I think it's the green one. If it's not, this is
Okay.
going to sound silly. But
right.
yes, 100 episodes. Well, that went terribly wrong, folks.
Have another go.
Okay. I have reached, I mean, you've been a massive part of this, obviously, but I've reached 100 episodes. Yellow. Yay! Thank you. Thank you very much. You're too kind. We got there in the end. We do need some stickers on them.
You're telling me this isn't fun.
Oh, it's really fun.
Can I pick one?
Of course you can. Do you need to say it's 100 episodes? If you've not gathered, this is quite an important episode that we're recording today. Sarah is hosting the 100th episode. What is that?
Crickets.
Sounds like someone's on a really broken swing.
Anyway, let's come away from the sound effects. Let's not get
We'll come back to them.
Get too excited there. 100 conversations, Lucy.
I know.
Well done.
Thank you.
Pat on the back. So before we get into this episode, we should probably give a bit of context.
Yes.
Context about why am I interviewing you for your 100th celebration episode? So I'm very honoured, by the way, to be asked, and I'm very honoured that you came all the way to Worcester, to the studio.
Yeah.
We had a lovely day yesterday.
Did.
And we're finishing off in style by recording in Lyrebird Studios. So, I mean, why did you ask me? I mean, I'm very honoured. Not like, why did you ask me? Like, but yes, how come?
Well, it made sense. We met a couple of years ago, and the conversation that we had led to me deciding on a whim to start a podcast. It wasn't necessarily something that I'd had as an idea, but chatting to you and listening to all of the fun stuff that you did with your podcast and the people that you met and all of those sorts of things, I thought it would be really fun to do. And I needed a hobby. Carl had said I needed a hobby, so that's it. I needed a hobby. And so it made sense to ask you. We recorded the 50th episode together.
We did.
Which was another big milestone, because I think you said yesterday not many people get to 50 episodes.
No, I mean, the benchmark, the goal is, so most podcasts, so it's called pod fade. That's a technical term. But they kind of get to 7 episodes and then they realise like it's not for them. The process is too much. Lots of different reasons.
So to get to 50 felt
big.
It
Yes.
is. And we had so much fun. And then I thought, oh, well, it makes sense to come back together on the 100th episode. And I value your professionalism, your expertise. I wanted to come down and be here as well in the studio because I wanted it to feel special. I wanted to support this as well, you know, because this is pretty swanky.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, and obviously spend some time together because you're all right.
Thank you.
But no, I thought it would be full circle.
Full circle moment. Yeah. And we should probably, so this episode is a celebration and we're going to use it as a time to be reflective. And we'll also discuss what is to come.
Yes. Who knows?
Who knows? And listeners need to make sure that they listen right to the end, because you will be giving them an action that you want them to take to help with their creative journey.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we've got a lot to cover.
We have. Better get going. Oh, no, it's the crickets.
Well, what were you hoping?
I don't know. I just
We've
thought
not
that
done
was
a blue
moment.
one. Dark blue or light blue? Turquoise or royal blue?
Turquoise. Yep, that'll do. Short and sweet. Your first question.
So, it goes without saying, this is a proud moment.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, even getting to your first 10 episodes or even starting a podcast, that's proud. But the fact that you've kept at it, 50, 100, pretty proud. So I can't just ask you, are you proud? Because that would just be like, yes, I am. Okay, move on. Not very reflective. So what are you most proud of? And it can't be reaching the milestone. No.
Can't be reaching the milestone. Well, actually, you know, sticking at something this long is quite a moment for me.
Yes.
Because I have a tendency to get bored. And I don't think that is a bad thing. I used to think it was a bad thing. You know, why can't I stay in this job for longer than 3 years? Or why can't I just be satisfied with what I am doing? But I think being able to recognise that I'm bored with something, it just means for me now that I've reached a point where I'm not learning anything new. And for me, learning is a core value. So I'm proud that I've stuck at this for 100 episodes. And I think I was saying to you yesterday, I feel like this is an opportunity for me to continue to learn new things, because the guests that I meet will always have something to share with me that I can learn from.
Definitely.
With the the software and the equipment that I'm using, I've never used any of this sort of stuff. So it's exciting. to get to use all of it and to find out what it does. And it's very creative in that way. And I think there's also part of it that is about, well, I've said I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. Like, I don't want to let anyone down.
Okay.
And that's quite interesting to reflect on as well.
What about letting yourself down?
Yeah, I think it's just a case of, I've said I'm going to do it, and so I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it well, and I'm going to find new ways of keeping it fresh and entertaining, and make sure that the listeners are getting something out of it.
Definitely.
I think at that point, I think if it's not really doing what it says on the tin, that's a moment where you think, right, I need to maybe step away from it, or I need to change direction. So I am proud that I've stuck at something for longer than a few months.
Yeah, because I think that shows that you've not only showed up for people, because you don't want to let people down, but you showed up for yourself.
I have. And I'm proud of the community that I have joined, the podcasting community.
It's a lovely community.
I haven't met a bad one yet.
Please touch wood.
Touch wood. But, the people that I've met have been so generous in sharing their knowledge, their expertise, signposting me to things, with their compliments and their encouragement and support. So joining a community and feeling like I'm valued is really lovely. But I'm also proud of the community that I'm building with the listeners, and the guests, because they've become friends, a lot of them. And they message me, they text me, they leave me messages, and, they sort of cheerlead me along the way. So, that community is really important and was a big part of why I set it up. And I think the thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that I'm living the wilderness of creativity brand.
Nice.
Because I'm showing up, like you said, for myself. I'm trying to inspire other people to listen to those little whispers of intuition and to trust it. I'm hoping that my little boy will be proud of me stepping away from that beaten track and trying something new, because I want him to feel like he can do that as well. Yeah. And I've done this around working full-time and being a mum.
Definitely.
So doing all of that, editing in late into the night, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, planning and writing scripts, editing it, like I do absolutely everything. There isn't a team around me. It is just me. That's quite something to be proud of.
It is, all the different hats that you wear, because, when you're starting a podcast, especially if this is the first time you've done something with audio, this kind of creative side, there is a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn in how you put episodes together. There's a lot to learn about your artwork. There's a lot to learn about editing. There's a lot to learn about getting your podcast out there, guest management, the list goes on. And in that, all those lovely skills that you are acquiring and can be later transferred into lots of other opportunities and stuff. So, and I think it's also, easier said than done, but I think sometimes I get annoyed if I'm doing something new for the first time. I'm like, why am I not better at this already? Why is this taking me so long? When actually you've got to, this is you. My brain's going, when you first learn to walk, you don't just go like, right, I'm walking today, and there you go. Yeah, you get up, fall over, all of that sort of stuff. So, I think sometimes it's about having fun in that learning process as well, isn't it? Okay, so with 100 conversations, Lucy, this might be a bit of a hard question to answer. But which conversations has had the biggest impact on what you think or maybe feel about creativity?
Obviously, all of the conversations on some level have changed the way I perceive creativity or feel about creativity. If I look back through the catalogue of episodes, one of the themes is the role of creativity in helping us to deal with grief.
Yes.
So my conversation with David, for example, when he was talking about how he sat in his lounge after his dad had passed away and he painted his dad, you know, sort of outlining the facial features of his dad and then painting him. And he just said he sobbed. He, you know, being in that moment, like his dad was emerging from the page. And, you know, that really touched me because, you know, I've lost my dad. There'll be lots of people out there who have lost somebody that they love. But turning to something creative, I think, and it doesn't have to be painting, it can be anything. It can be building Lego. It can be...
Love a bit of Lego.
You know, writing in a journal, for example. It could be flower arranging. It could be going down to a pottery class. Whatever it is, actually immersing yourself in something that is creative can help you process. And I won't go into it in great detail now, but for those people who have listened all the way through, they will know that this space, this podcast has allowed me to process the grief of losing our baby. So, you know, creativity and grief kind of fit together.
Definitely.
Because it's all about self-expression and processing those very difficult universal emotions.
Especially because when you're going through grief, you don't have the words. You don't really know how to say how you're feeling, or it's really hard to like come to terms with how you're feeling. So I think allowing yourself to be, it's making me have a bit of the chills here, which is weird because it's very hot in the studio. But sorry, I'm deflecting. This is what I do. When I get serious, I then have to joke. Need to stop doing that. But if you allow yourself to be creative, you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable because you're coming from a place of letting something out and you don't know how it's going to be. And I think another key point here is you don't have to be good at that thing either.
No.
Like to have a creative outlet, I imagine some people are a bit like, oh, but I'm not very good at painting. Oh, I'm not very good at this. Oh, I'm not very good at that. That's not what it's about. It's about having that space where you can just be in that moment, be creative. You don't know what's going to come out, but yeah, like, of course, and it's going to bring up emotions for you. And that is so important to feel those emotions. Definitely. Rather than, I feel like lots of us think, okay, stiff upper lip, true British style, push your feelings deep down. But that's just going to cause complications. So with creativity, you're allowing yourself that time.
And I also think that there is this distinction that we make for ourselves as like, you know, people who are creative and people who aren't creative. And I think for me, it's about sort of just, we're all creative.
Yes.
It all shows up differently for us.
100%.
But I think this idea of being good at something, it's like, you know, do we have to make art? Do we have to make money out of our art, out of our creativity? No, we don't. We can just doodle. The question that you perhaps need to ask yourself is, well, who am I doing it for?
100%.
Am I doing it for myself or am I doing this for others? And I think that kind of, I think that's when you start looking at using creativity for a purpose. Because if I think about Janet Shipton, who was a guest of mine, she was diagnosed with early onset Parkinson's, and she is an artist, so her creativity has a very clear purpose. She does it for herself, yes, but she's also doing it for others.
Definitely.
And I think for me, sort of having these conversations with people and having this platform, it's made me feel quite lucky that I have such a privilege to be creative, to have these conversations with people about their creativity. And there are some amazing people in this world. Amazing. Nisha, who has set up her own podcast, Vulnerable Voices. She's doing a lot of work around mental health, so creativity and mental health, working with children. She set up a wellbeing event local to her. She was talking about the inner child healing. That's stuck with me, and we're very supportive of each other. In fact, she messaged me just the other day and said, she said, I'm so proud of you. And, again, it comes back to that community. Any of those conversations that I've had with guests around creativity supporting their mental health have sort of changed how I would like to show up more, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
With sort of creativity and creative activities. But it's interesting because they've also opened up conversations in real life for me, with my family.
Okay.
And with my friends. So I'm much more open now and asking questions of the people around me. Like I had a conversation with my grandma about what she thought creativity was. I mean, she's 94. And how she stayed creative and how it supported her. And, so it's opened up more of a conversation in my own life as well, in real life.
That's wonderful, isn't it? Because it's not just staying in the podcast space then, is it? It's then wonderfully leaking out. I couldn't think of
leaking out. That is beautiful.
Wonderfully leaking out. And touching all other aspects of your life. And that's really wonderful. And I think, again, that's another point with creativity. It will touch lots of different things. And even if it's like opening up certain doors for you, opening up certain conversations, opening up different ways of thinking, finding your tribe, finding your community, you've already said that. And that's all through creativity. And also, I just want to touch on like inner child as well, because when you're a child and growing up, you have lots of avenues to be creative, and it's just part and parcel of being a child, right? And then as you get into being an adult, it's kind of like, okay, sensible life. I've got bills to pay. I've got people that I'm responsible for. And I think lots of us will shut away that inner child. They'll shut away that bit of creativity because it's okay, right, I'm in adult mode now. And I think that's really sad. And I think creativity, whatever hobby you find, whatever you do, that I used to think I was quite faddy because I would always like to do a new hobby and I'd get a bit obsessed with it for a bit and then move on to something else. I think it's so important to life doesn't have to be so serious all the time.
No, and I think what you're saying there is that you were naturally curious. I think children are naturally curious. I would say, though, just picking up on the fact that, it is assumed that all children are creative.
Okay.
I think that creativity has to be nurtured within the family, within the environment.
Okay.
Not all children have access to,
very true,
to a space that is creative, to lots of resources to play with, and that's why I am so passionate about arts education, creativity within education, because for those children coming to school and going to a dance class or going to an art and DT lesson or having a one-off workshop with an artist that's coming in for the day, that might just be the thing that sparks something inside them. And people can go through their whole life and not have that.
Which is so
to not
sad.
feel inspired by something.
That's so sad.
You know, it is sad. It is really sad. It's such a shame because everybody has the potential. See, another value of mine is beauty. And seeing beauty in the world,
yes,
I think is an act of creativity.
Yes.
You know, I've talked about this before, but the murmurations of the birds, you know, I find that so beautiful.
Can I share a quick fact about birds?
About
birds? About
birds.
About birds.
Go on.
So, birds only sing if they feel safe. So whenever you're out, if you're ever hearing birds singing, it should make you feel safe because they feel safe. Bit of mindfulness for you there. So if you're having a bit of like a rubbish day, or even if you're not having a rubbish day and you're just going out, just notice for those sounds, because anytime now I hear a bird singing, I'm like, we're good.
Oh, it grounds you.
Yeah, because they're grounded.
Interesting. I like that.
There you go.
Thank you.
I don't know where that came from.
From the murmurations.
Murmurations.
I love singing.
Well, I found out yesterday you were part of a cabaret in Ibiza.
I know. Well, there's so much that people don't know. A huge thank you to Sarah for kindly agreeing to host this very special 100th episode of The Wilderness of Creativity. If you have enjoyed listening to part 1, then there is a little more waiting for you on the other side. The Trailblazer membership is just £5 a month, and it's really about creating a bit more space to explore the conversations a little bit further. As a Trailblazer, you will get early access to new episodes, exclusive bonus material including the bloopers, and free entry to one of the upcoming Lost and Found workshops. There will also be a members-only community where we can explore some of the themes and the questions that we might have around the conversations that we're having in the wilderness. And each month, you will also get a Beyond the Wilderness guided meditation to help you stay grounded and inspired. If you'd like to join us, you can find all the details in the show notes. Thanks for listening. Stay wild.